To make a coil pot, we start by rolling out a slab. So we take our clay and use the rolling pin, but we don't want our hands on the handles. We need our hands up on the rolling pin. And you should stand up and then push hard with the rolling pin. Then you need to flip the clay so that it's not sticking to the canvas so bad. And then continue to turn it and flip it until it's somewhat thin, about maybe a little bit thicker than this plastic lid. And then take the lid and place it on the slab and tap it, and that will make a nice little circle. So then you just take your paper clip tool and use it to cut out this circle. Now we'll need to take our leftovers and wedge them. So we wad those leftovers up, and then we push back and pull back, push down, pull back, like this. This smooths all the clay together and gets out all the air bubbles. Should be making a spiral if you're doing it right. Okay, I'm going to take this clay now and make a coil with it. So to start with, I'm going to roll it between my hands like this. Get it started. If it starts to get to an oval shape instead of round, just press down on it like this. Now I'm going to take both hands and roll it back and forth. Anytime I get a place that's thicker than other places, I'm going to push a little harder on that to try to make it even. Now this coil is longer than I really need, so I'll probably just end up cutting it in half so that I can use it as two separate coils. Now I'm going to use some water and a toothbrush to slip and score this coil pot. I start here at the base, slip and score. Notice I only put the toothbrush in the water once. I didn't keep adding more and more water. If this gets too wet, it's all going to fall apart. As I put that on the slab, I'm going to really wiggle it and push down to try to make the clay stick. And then to make sure that it sticks, I'm going to do what's called blending or welding. Now I need to smooth the coils together, and I can either do that on the inside or the outside, or I can do it on both the inside and the outside. But I need to do at least one of the two to make sure these coils don't come apart as the clay dries. Now that I'm ready to add my next coil, I'm going to slip and score again. I'm going to try to start where I ended last time. And then I go right back to the blending and welding. I can use a clay tool for that. Sometimes I use a clay tool and sometimes I use my finger. If I want this coil pot to go out, then I lay the next coil on the outer edge. But if I want it to go in, I lay it on the inner edge. So again, to make it go out, I put it on the outer edge of the coil below it. So that it's coming out. But if I want it to go in, then I lay it on the inner edge. To make it go straight up, then I lay it straight on top of the coil under it. So you're going to decide if you want to go straight up, if you want to come out, or if you want to go in. But definitely we need to slip and score before you put on that next coil. This half is taller, so I'm going to bring it around to here to kind of even it out. And then I'm going to start bringing it in, so I'm going to put it on the inner edge. Then I go right back to blending. Okay, sometimes I don't like the shape because it maybe is bulging on one place and kind of caved in another. So sometimes I'll go through like this and kind of make the clay push out a little bit. You don't want to do it too hard because you could make the clay pot collapse. And then I might pound it on the canvas a little bit to try to push it in, just to make everything line up a little more smoothly. If you've got a place that's sticking out too far, or I should say not sticking out enough, if it's kind of caved in a spot, you can always put the tool down in where your fingers can't reach to push it back out. Now I'm going to have to start deciding where I want to end. But I would just continue in the same way. Adding a coil, slipping and scoring, add another coil, slip and score, and continue on until it's finished. At some point it might collapse on me, so I got to be careful not to let it go too high. And good luck with your own coil pots.